should say. It's too bad we don't have nobody over there. Excellent. It's going. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Part 2. Welcome back to the Outhouse.
Alexander the Great over there.
On lead guitar. He's going to be playing some amazing licks and riffs and rips behind us. Shredding. He goes by Mr. Shreds on Instagram. I think there's some numbers involved too, but I like that Mr. Shreds. That's nice.
Go ahead. Switch it.
Rock and roll.
Give her you switcherooski there.
Yeah, fading into the real rock star, Tommy.
What's up, Paples?
I'm excited, man. We left off at kind of an interesting place.
We did. Trying a little bit of a different set here.
I love the new aesthetic, dude. I absolutely love it.
We're going to see how that goes. You know.
Touch this. We made a bunch of
Hey,
rapids
now.
this time.
Hey, now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Turn the volumes up a little bit more. We'll see how that works out. Maybe a little bit more.
What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Check, check, check. Check.
Yeah. What is happening?
Welcome back to the Outhouse.
Well, we're
The
going to talk
Outhouse.
shit about some shit.
In the Outhouse.
And then we're going to have to pee.
Yeah, with all this coffee and water.
Water and all that good stuff.
Right. When we left off last time, well, actually, we were talking about a lot of your stories, and people love them. And I got to say, I do too. And fill our comments up, you know, if you want to hear more of those, because Tom has a million.
Throw up the comments.
Fill that comment box right up.
So, decided to put a new thing out here. You see, that's the F jar. So anytime somebody says the F word, we got to put a quarter in it. Then we're going to fill it up and donate to some good cause.
Yeah.
But of course, I'll be the one filling it up most. Because we was told from the last broadcast that, you know, we dropped too many F-bombs. You're supposed to light that pyramid, man.
Oh, yeah. Here, sorry. What did you do the
Give me something to
It's
do.
in there. It's in there, man. It's in
When we
there.
were talking last, I think we had just broached the subject of sibling rivalry kind of at the end. That's how we kind of tagged out exciting, like, I thought. And you guys were, like, really in sync, so I hope we can get back to that place again.
It's probably Gary watching. What's up, Gary? G Money. He said he was about to tune in. Let me see that lighter. Can't even see that pyramid lit up with them bright stage lights on us. It's all right, though.
And, you know,
It's got a fire, it does.
we talked about trying some things out, and we'll just keep trying them out, you know? So,
Hot
we were
boxing.
talking about how we didn't get it into the last episode. The first show here at the Chicken Coop. None of the drummers were here.
That's
Okay,
right. Our
That's
drummer.
something- If you go back and watch that first video, that's 4 hours long. That was just like a big, crazy,
Jam.
unassembled jam. That seemed like
That's because that's exactly what it was.
That was pure jazz. None of that was
anybody know anything?
rehearsed or interpreted. I mean, that was the guys being musicians, getting together, and fulfilling what we said we were going to do. We said we were going to put on an awesome show, Tom, and we were talking about it. And you know what?
For what it was an awesome show. I mean, the gas band was supposed to open up, but our drummer dislocated his shoulder and fractured it in 2 spots
Which
the night
required
before.
surgery.
And he was, you know, obviously we was going to open the show. Then he was going to play for Classic Drive. And then this other 2 drummers were supposed to show up to play with them guys because their drummer was on vacation. So we ended up with a shit show that turned out not so bad.
And it was really cool because, like, we had 3 drummers end up
It
showing
was a
up.
damn good show.
And those 3 drummers all brought
Yeah.
3 different styles to
Ye-
the table.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Because Jimmy's like you. He's well-versed. He plays a lot of
Jake.
different stuff.
Jake and Mike.
Yep.
Yeah,
Old
that's right.
State Farm.
Yeah.
State
No,
Farm.
the other Jake, the drummer. Jake
Oh,
with
the drummer
beard.
Jake. That's
He was
right.
talking about drummers.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Jake did play a little drummer
Yeah, he
too,
did.
didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Two
Him
Jakes,
started
huh?
off.
That's
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
The two Jakes.
Oh.
But our Jake is
Thank
State Farm.
Um,
By the way, I'll bring that up later.
No, that's great. Go ahead, dude. That's great because anybody that saw the first one will know that this is the Jimmy Page
This is the Jimmy Page
official knighting.
sweat towel.
Sweat
boys
towel.
and girls.
So if you're a guitar player and you come through here,
You get dubbed by
you're
this
getting
bad boy right here.
knighted by
We
Jimmy
got
Page's.
DNA.
That's right.
We're gonna clone them, dude.
We got all the authenticity
Hell
you
to
need,
the yayo.
you know. And getting back to something else that we talked
What
about,
we
wanting
getting
go
back
back
to?
on,
Oh,
that
shit.
first Kenmore Hall show that you guys were talking
Uh-huh.
about. Afterwards, you told that crazy story about the stage dive. So
Oh.
you gotta lay that on the people.
Oh.
So yeah, so we're not doing too bad for a shitty band with shitty equipment and
First time on stage.
first time and all that. We actually had a little pit crowd. These cats was jumping up on stage, diving off. Then there's this little short hobbit that got up there. Little round dude. He jumped out and he was like Moses. The crowd parted like the sea and he went, boom, hit the crowd. We had a camera in the balcony. You can hear him hit the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I've heard
anybody
that.
knows about Kenmore Hall, we had a camera up in that balcony, and you could hear the dude hit the floor. Boom! We was dying when we watched that back. Of course, we didn't realize it.
It's such a horrible sound, I worked in a nightclub and I seen a dancer fall off of the pole, and she was up about 12 feet. It's like it sounds like a bag of potatoes when it hits the ground.
Yeah, it's exactly what it
You know what I
sounded
mean?
like.
a 50-pound bag of potatoes if you just tossed it up in the air and let it hit the ground. That's what it sounds like. That's no shit. That's reals. So something else we talked about after was the Godsmack radio dude, and that really blew my mind because we were
Yeah.
so getting into the rock and roll stuff that we really didn't get a chance to finish that one all the way out. So you were on the radio for a minute.
Right.
How many years altogether? 3?
Like three,
About 3?
well, a little bit more, because after I got out from Metalhead Radio, I did my own little thing for a minute and then joined this other station thing that was going on, and she didn't quite understand what I had going on. It's like, chick, I'm syndicating my show to your station. She wanted me to play the monthly band or whatever, which if the monthly band was metal, I got no problem with it, but I'm not going to play something like Green Day on my metal show, which I have
Right.
no thing about Green Day. They're an awesome band. I'm just saying
Right.
my genre was
Right.
metal, not anything else. And she was having a hell of a time. And I was just like, no. And she, well, if you're not going to be part of this station and do what, like, okay, well, I didn't sign no papers. Peace. That was pretty much the end of it. But that Godsmack thing, that dude, if you guys watched the first episode, I was talking about dude screaming and hollering about Godsmack and all that stuff.
And you said,
Meanwhile,
because I was a little lost on that one. He was a regular in the chat room.
yeah,
he was a regular listener.
he was a regular listener to that station prior to me being there.
Right. He wasn't just someone that just came in and said, hey, play a
And-
Godsmack song. He was someone that basically knew better.
Right. He was just starting shit, basically. So
early troll.
So as the night goes on, well, okay, let me back up. So prior to that happening,
Right.
we was in the chat room, and it was right before I had already had my show planned out and all that stuff. And it might even not even been, damn, how did that go? But anyway, we're in a chat box, and dude, I can't read that shit.
Hold on. I write like a doctor because this is important.
Should have just said it.
No, I don't want to say it on the air
Oh.
because
Oh, gotcha. I would have too if you wouldn't have reminded
right.
me. Yeah, I forgot. You got to watch your P's and Q's about what you say about
well,
certain things.
people are very sensitive. So you can't even say a chicken being a chicken, really.
So the guy, it was in the chat box, and we got these regulars. He was one of them. There was this other dude, and he goes, "Hey, you guys want to hear something weird?" And instantly they're on him. Oh, you wear panties, all this. They're like,
Right.
getting on his shit a little bit.
You really love your.
Uh-huh. And he's like, no, I had a friend that was possessed by a demon. It's like, what? So as soon as he said that, I was like, oh shit, I want this for my show. I was like, hold on, dude, because I had it set up to where I could take phone calls on my show, and I was going to have dude call in.
We did all those.
And I was going to do it like, have him tell the whole story.
Right.
So I'm like, I private message him in a private chat, and I'm like, dude, don't say nothing more. I was like, give me a little bit of the details on it, so I know what's going on come tomorrow or my show tomorrow, because I think I was going on. I wasn't on yet. It was somebody else, and we was just in a chat bullshitting, and then I was supposed to go on, but I already had my show pre-planned, so I was going to have him come on the next night, which I believe would have been the Sunday, I think it was, or whatever. But anyway, so meanwhile, he's telling me what's going on in this chat box, and I'm like, all right, dude, cool. I'm going to have you on tomorrow. I'm going to have you on the phone and all this. We're going to do this, right? He's like, yeah. So what he tells me is he's like, his friend the short story is basically his friend got possessed by a demon and said that Bigfoot and aliens and Chupacabra and all that stuff was all one and the same. It's all demon shit, is what he was saying.
Wow.
And then I guess it being possessed drove him crazy and did the unthinkable. So, and then he told me that little bit, and I wanted him to come on. So here's the story. So I thought it was kind of weird that I was going to expose like the dark side of things, so to say.
Yeah, right. Early conspiracy.
And
stuff.
soon as I was like, all right, cool. Don't say nothing more. Talk to you tomorrow on the phone about it. Cool. Boom. That's when that Godsmack shit. I mean, it was like immediately. And then so I'm sitting there arguing with this dude about this Godsmack, and the owner's girlfriend, she was in the chat. She's a drunk. So she's like, hey, man, don't be coming into our fish tank and stirring up the water. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean coming in your fish tank stirring up the water? Like, I'm a DJ on your radio station. What are you talking about? And this goof over here, oh, well, he's been a blah, blah, blah for all. I was like, oh, okay. And kind of went back and forth a few times. And they ended up blocking me off the radio station, off the website. I couldn't even access the website because me and her got into it and shit. And then that was that.
And that's how the metal show ended
Yeah.
that way.
And
I wondered where it went.
And I never was able to contact dude because I never got any information, because in my mind, I was just going to see him in a chat tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
So I never got to get that story out. And it was weird.
That's crazy.
Wow. I always wondered where the show went because you were so driven. I mean, that was
And it was just like, boom. It was just a chain of events that happened for that. It was just like mind-boggling. It's like, wow,
it really is.
It was like the forces that be was like, nope, he ain't telling this story. Check this out. Boom, shut down. I mean, shut down.
Wow.
It's like, wow. That's what I said. Wow, okay.
And it wasn't like it was real like terrestrial radio either that was intervening. It was like internet radio,
Right, like-
early internet
right.
radio, podcasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is, yeah. I wondered where that show went because we were all kind of following along, and you played a lot of the stuff that we were listening to. We talked about down in the basement at Doug's, and all of that old stuff. I got hung up because I know that right now F-bombs are about to fly because I'm going to mention one band's name.
Man, you're going to do this to me already.
And it was already brought up, and it's what I used to kind of hype up the show on any of my social media was this band. But you know what? I'll lead up to it with I think the right progression from the way that I kind of heard part of it, and that was it started at
It's pissing me off.
the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. You see a lot of really iconic people there,
Absolutely.
and they're all. Every one of them that actually get to go on that stage are like apex predators. Like they're at the top of their game.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So
Well, that's why they're getting inducted.
how many of those have you done, induction ceremonies?
I think I did 3 of them.
You did 3 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
because them things they're so brutal. I turned the last couple of them down, man. You're there for days, week. You're for a week setting it up, and then rehearsal, then show.
The
It's
pay's
like-
good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's extremely well. But man, you get zero sleep. But you know, you can sleep when you're dead, right?
That's right, baby. That's right.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Now,
You move to the
We
great
won't know.
beyond, boy. You ain't sleeping, are you?
for the most part, you've had nothing but great things to say about the experience, other than it being, time consuming and rigorous. But Metallica
Oh fuck!
is
Here we go.
is the name that just really makes you there
Bring
it
the
is.
quarters out now. Fuck it.
I'll take the
There's
pennies.
two.
I'll take the pennies. That's nice.
Here
That's
we
probably
go.
gonna fill up by the end
Who'd you
of
bring
this.
up?
Metallica.
Oh, I thought you said Power Cats at first. I was like,
No.
what's wrong with Power Cats, man?
You said Metallica really bugged you, and I never really knew the story, and I still don't know it all the way. So why don't you enlighten us
All right.
on why,
So
out of
first
all
of
the
all,
experiences with
Let's
bands,
get one thing straight.
this one bothers you the most?
Back in the day, other than Rush and Van Halen, Metallica was my other favorite band when I started going that way
Right.
into the heavier
Heavier.
metal stuff. It
Right.
was like,
that
oh
first
shit.
Band, we did all Rush and
Yeah, it
Metallica.
was all Rush and
'Cause Our
Metallica.
bass player's favorite band was Metallica.
So we played a lot of Metallica,
And
it
I
was
still
the
love
old
Metallica.
stuff.
Yeah, we did.
And
I
I
like
liked
all.
Metallica clear up to Injustice for All. And there was a couple songs off the Black Album, but after that, I was like,
Now,
whatever.
the Black Album came out when I
But-
graduated, so it's part of the iconography.
So when we was at the Rock Hall induction ceremonies, and I'm pretty sure they was getting inducted or whatever. They was there too, but that Train Kept a Rolling video, if you guys went back and checked that out on YouTube,
I did.
he
see
had
you
us.
in that
Oh,
video.
you know what? I didn't even look to see if he played that guitar during that Kurt Hammett. I'll have to go back and look myself. So anyway, or not Kurt, James Hetfield. He gets his special guitar ordered that day for that show, right? And before he got there, of course, it comes before rehearsals or whatever. And it might even, I think it was rehearsal day, but it was early in the morning, and I just got done, and we was going for break. I was going outside to tighten up, and I wasn't even going to use a
love
wrench. You know what I'm saying?
I love
Talk
that
to John.
vernacular.
I was going to tighten up with no wrench. How you like that? So as I'm walking out, James Hetfield's guitar tech he pulls this guitar. He's like pulling this. He just gets this. It's delivered to the Rock Hall, the wherever the hell that is up there.
Right.
I forget what hall that is. It's a hall, Independence Hall or whatever that is up there. Anyway,
It's not Cleveland Public Music Hall.
or Public Hall. That's what it is. A public hall, and it gets delivered there. And dude's walking in or whatever, but I'm walking out the doors. He's coming like kind of in it, or he's standing there and he's pulling it out of the box, and the packing peanuts go everywhere. And he's like, "Damn!" He's like, "I ain't got time for this shit." I was like, "Oh, I got you, bro. Go ahead." And I was on break technically.
Right.
He was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, man. Go ahead. Go do you." He's like, "Oh man, cool." He goes, "When you get done, stop by my box, his work box."
Right.
Cool. So I clean the mess up. I go out and get tightened up. I come back in. I go back. "What's up, man?" He goes, "Dude," he goes, "I really appreciate it." He goes, "Here." He hands me, almost did it. He hands me that F-bomb. He hands me like 4 Kurt Hammett picks
That's cool.
and like 5 or 6 James Hetfield picks.
Nice.
And he's holding that guitar. He just got strings on it by the time I come back, and he was tuning it up.
Right.
And I was like, "Damn, that's a pretty killer ass paint job on that." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's badass." He goes, "It's got great action right from the factory too." He's like, "Here, check it out." I'm like,
So you got.
"Are
to
you
play it?
shitting me?"
What?
Yeah,
You played it before
before him.
Oh!
Before his ass, exactly. And this is what makes it funny to the rest of the story, right?
Oh man.
So he's like, I'm like, "Wow, okay." So I'm like, "Wow." I'm sitting there playing it, and it's like butter and all this. And I was like, I was, checking it out. I'm like, "Damn."
who's he endorsed by? What was
LTD, I think.
it? Okay.
ESP,
ESP,
one of those,
LT, yeah, ESP, but it's a LTD brand or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, nice guitar. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Set neck
man.
through and all that. Nice
They're all
guitar.
beautiful, if you ask
Although
me.
I don't like them Destroyers body styles or whatever. But so
And that's an acquired taste, that body style.
right. So then of course, later on, hours later for rehearsals they was having, I'm standing in a circle. It's me, James Hetfeld's guitar tech, where you're standing, James Hetfeld straight across from me, and some buddy that came with him. I don't know who
Right.
he was, just some guy that
Just
was
some
with him.
cat.
And he's telling him about this guitar, and he's blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And I was like, yeah, dude, that's a pretty badass guitar. And he looked at me like this, and he went, and he turns to his buddy, and he starts telling him, and I'm looking at him like, bro, if you only know that I put my booger fingers on your guitar before you even got to freaking fucking touch it.
Dude.
If you only knew. I put a booger on it.
Oh man, now that I hear that, like it totally changes the
Right.
perspective.
And it was like, oh wow. And I couldn't believe, like, I understand, like, they get tired of that fanboy shit or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And
But
I
you're not
get
that
it.
way.
Right. I'm standing in your inner circle, bro. Like 4 people. I'm the 4th person
at the Rock Hall.
off stage, like standing there, and I make a comment about how nice of a guitar it is, and you look at me like I'm some peasant fool. Like, are you kidding me right now? I was like, all right,
That's all right.
whatever, cool, that's all right. So then, during rehearsals of that, and then throughout the day, like the other 2 bass players was there, and Jason Newstead, he come walking by, and I was like, hey, Newstead, and he looked, I was like, congrats, and he went, ah! Fucking stomping on by. He didn't even say, he just growled at me, and I was like, okay, whatever that was. And then later on, the other bass player, he just looked at me. I was like, hey, dude, congrats. And he just kind of looked, because I don't know, I guess he really technically, all the old stuff, but he just kind of looked at me funny and kept walking. And then later on, I was walking out to take a break again, and Kirk Hammett and one of his buddies was in this back room where everybody's guitars and cases was.
Right.
And they had Jimmy Page's Sunburst, and he's fucking Kurt Hammett was showing his buddy and holding it and all that. And I'll just put a quarter in now. I think I got close enough. But yeah, he was back there creaming all over it and telling me,
man.
and I was thinking, yeah, I've already touched and put boogers on that one too, buddy.
Man.
It was great. But then when they was doing that, train kept a rolling.
But what kind of guy did Kirk seem like though? Because
He's the only one. And as I was walking
he
out,
likes comic books,
I
so
did
love
say,
him,
I was like, hey, Kirk, congrats. And he thanks.
Hey,
I
at
mean,
least he acknowledged
he
you.
acknowledged.
There
I
you
was
go.
like, all right, so
Respect.
1 out of 4 ain't too bad.
No, not bad at all.
Now-
what about Lars?
Now, he's a douche. I don't care.
Oh man, you better take a couple of
Yeah,
these,
so
I feel
this-
like we're going somewhere.
So this fucker, during rehearsals, I've never seen some shit like this before. I'm telling you, people.
Right.
This was unbelievable, right?
I'm dying to hear this.
So if you watch that video, it starts out and it goes dun, dun, dun,
yeah, the count.
dun, 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 dun. Well,
So
it
count
wasn't
up.
supposed to start like this. They had this whole, Jeff Beck was trying to get him to do this jazzy intro, funky beginning in this weird beat that he couldn't play. And they did it over and over, and he couldn't get like 30 seconds into this thing. He couldn't get this intro going.
Right.
And he's finally like,
That's gonna be fun.
well, just play it and I'll get it. And then I was like, damn, you know what I mean? I'm like,
wow.
you're talking to Jeff Beck like that? Like, you ain't
Up
even
here.
worthy enough to be a shit stain on the
here,
bottom of his
right.
balls, let alone talking to him.
Here,
Like,
here.
you're talking about Jeff Beck, for fuck's sake. And
Wow.
so
You have
they-
to have respect for your elders.
yeah,
man.
I mean, I'm like, dude. And then so they're playing. So he kind of fumbled dicks through this intro, and they play, and he literally stops them. I swear on everything I love, they wasn't even 60 seconds into this train kept rolling, and he stops, and he jumps up. He stands up on his drum riser, which is only about yay high off the ground. It was only a step up, and he throws his arm up like this. And I'm like,
Like,
what?
stop.
Like, yeah, like, no, he didn't even stop. He was just like turned and had his arm up in the air. And I'm like,
What the hell?
like, what the fuck? Here comes this little faggot. Bing, 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 bouncing off people like a pinball machine. Boom! And he gets in there and he starts massaging his arm and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Wow.
I mean, you kidding me, bro? I could understand if like they went through the whole song or whatever, and he gets his massage because his little arm hurts. But I mean, dude, you ain't even 60 seconds into the song, and you're making it look like your arm hurts. That's why you can't do the intro of the song. No, dude, you suck. That's why you can't do the intro to the song. Lars, you fucking suck, bro.
Oh, wow, man. I mean,
I'm gonna donate that to a good charity when it gets full, y'all.
it'll be full by the end of the night.
I know.
Wow.
But yeah, and them guys was total douchebags. Like I couldn't believe. I was kind of heartbroken. I was just like, wow,
Well, in the
man.
videos, they always say how much they love their fans. And
They
that's-
don't love shit. They're assholes.
I
And
mean-
I've seen them all, which brings me back to, so then a few years later, they're doing a headlining gig at the Q with Lamb
man.
of God opening up.
Oh,
for 'em,
you
right?
love that band too.
Yeah, I love me some Lamb of God. So we get there, and of course, you know, I'm like on the drum tech. He's
Now,
setting
how
this
long
shit up.
after that was it?
This was a few years,
Okay.
probably 4 years,
Okay.
5 years, maybe something.
Gotcha.
So I come rolling in, and dudes, you know, I forget what crew I was on, but we did some shit, and to come back, I think it was, no, we can't. Oh, I seen him earlier when he was setting up the kit, and I was like, dude, I was like, I didn't even, because normally we get picks and drumsticks off the dude, but most of them guys, there's certain dudes that's in the union that go and bug them dudes before they even get their cases open, before their work. Hey man, give me a pick, pick. They get tired of that shit. Some dudes don't even ask on their box, like don't even ask me for some shit.
Yeah, right.
So what I do is I go up and say, hey bro, I got this big ass fat bud. I'll trade you for this guitar pick or these drumsticks. And every time I get my shit,
Wow.
every time I get
That's
my
a good
shit.
key. It's a
So
good key.
I told dude, the drum tech from Lamb of God, I was like, look, bro, I said, I'll bring you back a big fat ass nugget for some sticks. He was like, bet. He handed me the sticks that Chris played on the night before and a brand new pack.
Oh,
Or a brand new
nice.
set. And then my buddy was
Score.
with me, Tom Wood. He gave him 2 brand new packs. Tom was like, shit, I'm in on that. I'll bring you some too. And he was like, here. So he's like, all right, we got you, bro, on the way back.
Wow.
And then we're sitting there, you know, we're bullshitting. I'm looking at his drum set and finger fucking it. And I was like, hey, man. I was like, hey. I looked around. I'm like, so what's it like every night coming into a big ass arena and opening up for Metallica and blowing their fucking doors out? And he went like this. He went, it's fucking great.
That's awesome, dude.
And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
hell yeah.
But and I've heard similar stories about other artists being that way, where they just become disconnected from their fans, almost. Like
That was awesome. And then they most certainly did blow their doors off. I seen Kill Switch Engage blow the doors straight the hell off. And you know I wanted to say that F word that time.
Oh, yeah.
Straight the hell
Everybody had
off
quarters.
of Slayer.
That's really.
Dude, they was blowing them away so much. It was amazing. When Kill Switch Engage got done playing, people was walking out. Like half the crowd left. And the only other time I've ever seen that in my life was when Skid Row opened up for Pantera. Pantera opened up for Skid Row. When Pantera got done at the Jar, 2/3 of that arena emptied out. They was like F Skid Row.
Wow.
But yeah, when Kill Switch got done, they emptied out and they ended up kicking them off the tour. And the singer for Slayer said it was because dude runs around with a trash bag around his neck like a cape. Sometimes he's actually got a cape, and was bitching because he's an idiot. He runs around with a cape on. Oh no, dude, it's because they was blowing you guys' doors away, bro.
Wow.
I like Slayer, but
In them anyway. Because
yeah,
it's
I
fun to
was
do that
there. I
with.
was just, it was part of the story.
That's really wild though. But it's sad when the artists become separate from the fans in that way. I mean, in a way, you have to be, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
when you get to that level, because you would get inundated with requests for, oh my God, everything, right down to your flesh.
Oh yeah, they pull your hair out.
Right. I mean, I saw Eddie Vedder. I swore he said in an interview he wouldn't stage dive anymore, and then they played at CSU, and there was general admission, and I was in the nosebleeds, but my buddy and his brother were down on the floor, and he stage dove, and then it was really cool. But you could just see people tearing at him when they do that. You know, I mean, that's a risky move, man. Especially nowadays. I would never, ever attempt that. I guess if I was young and dumb.
And you know, on the next one, this one I was supposed to be interviewing Ed's ass, but
yeah, but
we decided everybody was, I guess, was making comments. I'm funny and shit, I guess.
Yeah, you know, and really a
I'm
lot
all
of people
animated.
have talked
I'm like a
about the
fucking
rock and
Muppet.
roll
Oh,
stories, buddy.
damn it.
But you've done other things other than rock and roll.
I'm running out of quarters. I gotta watch my P's and
You're gonna have
F's.
to go back and watch the replay and count them up.
You're right.
You owe-
See how many O's.
You're gonna be in
Exactly.
debt.
It's gonna be a debt. So you did all of these different metal shows, and I want to run the metal list because of course I left some stuff out, and I caught some heat here and there, but that's all right. How about Slipknot?
Yep.
Black Sabbath?
Yeah. Did I work for them? I know I worked for Ozzy.
I know you and you went to Ozfest together in
Yeah.
07,
Yeah,
I
me
think.
and
I
Becca
see-
was Ozzy
I
when-
seen Black Sabbath at the Ozfest, and then right after the Ozfest was over, they come back around with Godsmack at Blossom Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
They still
did
had
that
Bill
reunion
Ward.
tour.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
The
was at
Last
that one,
Supper.
too.
Now we
They
did
called it. I got
Slayer
a shirt.
just now. How many times
You
did
worked that one?
No, I wasn't a stagehand at that point yet.
How many times did you work Slayer? Just for that one time?
No, I think I worked for them 3, maybe 4 times. I actually got some of the drum heads and shit. I sold a bunch of stuff at auction when I was down and out,
Right,
which I
back in the day,
regret.
you sold your whole collection.
Yeah,
personal
the
stuff.
Rush stuff and some of the other
Ouch.
stuff I regret, man, because I had a set of Rush sticks, man. They're gone. I actually had 2 sets. They're again traded the drummer for a big old fat bud, but or the drum tech, I mean, and and then the other set I got from Craig Reed because he got some off the drummer, and I ended up giving one to my drummer and one to my son, and then I had a pair that I ended up
And that's
selling.
awesome when you play the actual instrument. You know,
Right.
It's like when you're a baseball
That
player.
was one of the
kid, you get
biggest
ball.
regrets,
or a
and I
bat.
knew when I was watching them, some of the bitches up there, and the numbers was going up when it was getting auctioned off. I was like, I'm gonna regret this one day. I'm never
yeah.
gonna get another pair of those sticks ever in life, and
You'll
there
never
they
see it
go.
again, right?
And that was it. I was kind of salty, man.
Well, you had a lot, man.
But you know what it is, what it is.
And you.
I had it. I held him. I have his DNA on me. So, and they was the sticks from the night before too that his drum tech gave me wherever they was.
Now you always meet these guys. Did you ever like? Well, you know what? We'll get to that. How about Korn?
Yeah, I worked for Korn.
Did you meet any of the guys in the band or anything?
Sometimes if it's not the main people,
Right.
like sometimes I'll be in an elevator or something and ride up talking to them and don't even know I'm talking
You
to, and
never
then
realize
later
it.
on be like, oh shit, it was the
dude.
bass player. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
damn.
Selling shirts you was talking about.
Yeah.
Was it
Oh yeah.
Tesla?
The Tesla.
Yeah.
Their guitar player. When I went up, I actually won tickets off the
Right.
radio to see them up at the House of Blues, and I walked in and I'm getting me a shirt. I walked over and their guitar player Freddie's selling the freaking t-shirts.
Wow.
I was like, wait, what?
that's dedication, man.
I was like, sign my shirt. He was like, and I got one of these red ones that they only made like 1,000 of them. There's some kind of special
Oh,
thing
collectible.
too. Yep.
Nice.
So there's that.
How about Megadeth?
Yep. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember where, but
Did you meet
I don't
Mr.
know.
Dave Mustaine?
No, I heard he was a jerk though.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard mixed reviews. How about Motorhead? I mean, everybody's a mixed
No,
bag. for
I
the
don't
right
think I ever
wrong
worked
day,
for
you know?
Motorhead.
Them
No.
motherfuckers, they are so loud.
Maybe though. Did they ever come to Blossom? I feel
saw
like
them
they
in
might have been
Dallas.
at Blossom, maybe.
You ever see Motorhead?
I never did.
Yeah.
I was born
They're-
that.
Them and AC/DC's got to be the loudest bands out.
I know AC/DC's loud, and for y'all folks most concerts, they got those fake amplifiers. There's stacks
Dummy
of them. There's
stacks.
only one. AC/DC, every freaking amp on that stage is on and running, bro. All the cabinets,
You're an older
all
cat.
the amps.
Did you remember Hawkwind?
No joke.
Hawkwind?
No, I don't know.
That was the band Lemmy was in before Motorhead.
Yeah, no.
And there was kind of psychedelic. He played some heavy stuff, but
We was in the Dallas Cotton Bowl, and we was like at the 50-yard line, and that shit hurt.
Oh,
I had to
man.
hold my ears.
that's a
It was
good memory,
loud,
man.
I mean, there's another one. Every Marshall amp must have been on that one. It's painful.
How about Queensryche?
Queensryche. No, I don't. Well, you know,
That would have had to have been a.
I think they
Like an
did come to
amalgamation.
Blossom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause Jeff
because
Tate
all
was
that-
gone.
It was
They
after
did all that
Mindcrime.
theatric shit, changing clothes and all kind of shit going on with them
Right.
guys.
They still came to Blossom. I'm trying to think. Did I work the show or did I buy a ticket? There's so many of it to where I can't remember
gotta
whether they run
differentiate,
together.
right.
Did I buy tickets for the show? Did I work the show? Where
Right.
was the show?
You're right. Because
It's like,
you were there all the
Man,
time.
I mean, you think 20 years of stagehands, and then all the shows that I actually went to, which
Yeah.
I got a big old poster thing of ticket stubs back there
Oh, yeah.
before I was even a stagehand. You know, I seen
Right.
a lot of
Yeah,
concerts.
well, we talked about that. You're a real music lover, man. And you do have a wide range. You're not that narrow. I mean, you like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I like a lot of stuff now. I listen to
Um,
most of anything.
How about AC/DC, man?
What about them?
Did you do that show?
Oh, yeah.
Where was
I-
that at?
That was at the Q.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
'cause
a
that's a
big
big
show.
one.
Yeah,
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 you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Any good stories from that one other than just the madness of it all? I mean,
It was
that's-
crazy. Like underneath the stage, I would say that his amp room, they call it the guitar tank,
Right?
is probably about 2/3 of this room.
And it's all guitar.
And it's just for his
Amps.
guitar heads,
Oh.
just for the heads. And then he's got a whole nother spot for the guitars, and then of course the cabinets are up on stage. I think he runs 9 heads, and he's got 3 spares.
Wow. That's amazing.
And they're all on, and it's all when that
Did you get to play Angus's?
no, I didn't.
No.
And that shit will move your pant legs for real, for real.
Man, I always wanted to see them. And that's another one that I missed.
Hey, we appreciate everybody just tuning in. Thanks a lot.
How about Aerosmith? They're not really heavy metal,
No,
but they're
you
more
know, we
hard
were
rock.
supposed to do them, and that's when he freaking fell off the stage and broke his ankle or something. It was like
I
2
think I remember
shows
hearing that.
before Blossom, and they canceled it.
How about Dokken?
Yep. I wasn't. I like Dokken, but I've seen them. I've seen him twice live and worked for him once, and
We
I was
saw him
unimpressed
down
with
in
his
Texas.
vocals.
How were they in Texas? 'Cause that was
Shitty.
back.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
It was the
weird.
Monsters of Rock.
Monsters of Rock, and it was a little off. And then I know George
band
Lynch, he
seemed
was doing a
good.
solo, and his guitar kept cutting out. He was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
He kept
You'd have to be
fucking with
mad.
the wire. He's like, I know that guitar tech got it fired.
All
Probably
right.
after that shit.
How about Ministry?
Nah.
No? How about Ted Nugent?
Oh yeah.
The
I've seen
Nude.
Ted so
Sweaty
many
Teddy.
times. He's always a good
He's great,
show, man.
yeah.
Right.
Dude's amazing.
Yeah, that's another one.
He was one of my early first concerts, like back in
He's a good
'78.
show. Some people
It
don't
was
like him because of his
$8
mouth.
To go
but
see him in '78.
That's
down
awesome,
at the
man.
Canton Civic Center, man.
$8 to
Rubbed
go
off
see
in
the
his
Nuge.
mouth.
He's
Wow.
that was my first time. Then we saw him in Abilene and Taylor County Coliseum. Seen him at the Cotton Bowl. I don't even know.
Wow.
Seen him in
And
Cleveland.
You've seen
understand,
him a lot.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like a relative. How about Tool? I love Tool.
nope.
No?
I've never worked for him and never got to see him.
I
I'm
never
pissed.
got to see him. We,
I
we
want-
will. We will.
yeah,
we
we're-
will.
We're gonna go out and drink some wine with old.
Yeah, right.
Maynard.
Right.
We're
We'll have to
gonna
go out to his pad,
Hell
man.
yeah.
How about Lamb of
Up
God?
church, we're coming for you, brother.
Yeah, right. How about Lamb of God?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
know
Lamb
you
of
did
God.
that one. Did you
I've-
do repeats with them?
Yeah.
And didn't you have one of those guys, or were supposed to have one of those guys on your radio show?
No, not
No?
Lamb of God.
How about the Misfits?
Nope.
Scorpions?
Scorpions. Did I
We
do
saw
them?
him in
Yeah,
Dallas.
definitely seen them.
You see some good shows in Dallas, man.
Oh man, it was great shows. They had Texas Jam,
I
which
don't think I did.
turned into the Monsters of Rock
Maybe I
eventually.
did.
Oh, yeah.
All
'Cause
day
sometimes-
events, man.
You know, most of the
General admission. That shit's crazy down there, Cyber.
Wow.
Sometimes, you know, most of the time we get them crew shirts.
Right.
And sometimes when you don't get one, you tend to forget who the hell you was working for. Oh, you didn't give me a shirt? Oh, it's like that.
Right. How about Anthrax?
Rush, I was crushed. They didn't give us no. I worked for them 3 times, and they get them cats shirts out of the dryers. Man, how come I ain't get a shirt, man? Why?
That's your band too. How about Dio?
I never worked for him, but you know what? Ronnie James Dio was one of the first big musicians I ever met. Like, got autographed and
Really?
yeah,
Where?
up
Where'd you
there.
meet him at?
The first me and the boys' mom, I believe it was the Odeon.
Oh, nice small venue.
Yeah.
I never went there, but I always drove by it when I was in
It's
the
like
flats.
they'd have us out. You go outside and wait for them to come to the buses. And
Right.
They'd take forever. But the one time, because we did it twice back to back, and the one time it was cold as shit out, like foot of snow.
Right.
And we knew what the drill was, so we went down to Panini's or whatever that is,
Right.
got a sandwich, ate, and come back, and still was out there for an hour or something. And then he come out to sign autographs, and he went, "Fuck this!" And he made the Odeon open the doors and brought everybody inside and signed everything on the
That's
inside.
solid, man.
So everybody wasn't out there in the freezing ass cold.
That's solid. He's a solid
There was
guy.
only about 20 people there, but you know
Hey,
what I mean.
That's still a solid
Yeah,
move, man.
I'll tell you what, he is one of the absolute
And-
most genuine, nicest people.
And that's
you
the
could
opposite
ever
of what
meet.
we started with when we talked about the M word.
I mean, Ronnie James Dio is a stand-up dude. I mean, I met him 3 times, I think, and he was an outstanding human being.
What
Couldn't
else
treat
did
you any better.
meet him?
Just after his shows, hanging
Wow.
out, waiting on him. I don't think I ever worked for him.
So anytime you waited, you always got a chance to get something signed or
Yep, I got
talk
it,
or
yep,
whatever. That's
yep.
cool. How about Motley Crue?
Mm-hmm. Yep, worked for them a few times. And just so you guys know, that big old bass drum he had, it was fake. He had a little 18-inch behind it. It held a set list.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry I ruined that for you.
The
But
Dream
think
Slayer.
about it. Think about it, drummers. How the hell are you going to have a 50-inch drum, kick drum, and it sound tight as hell? Because it's an 18-inch drum, not a 50-inch drum. That's why it sounds tight. That
The
thing would be
illusion.
boom,
Yeah.
boom when he'd be hitting it. Nah. It was a set list holder.
What'd you think of that whole production overall?
It was wild. I'll tell you what was crazy about it
'Cause
was
I always liked them. Dr. Feelgood was huge
they
for me.
normally at Blossom the dressing rooms are downstairs and Blossom's shaped kind of like a
Like an
a
amphitheater.
boomerang, I guess you want to say.
Right.
And behind the stage, like downstairs is the same. So like if you come off stage on either side, stage left or stage right, and go straight off,
Right.
there's steps there and on both sides, and them steps both go down. And when you come down and you hit the main floor, you go straight out to the artist dressing room, and there's a door on this side and a door on this side. And if they're both open, you can see all the way to the other side.
Right.
And there's dressing rooms on each side through this little dressing room hallway, I guess it is, right? And who was we talking about?
And I don't know. I started thinking about dressing
Motley
rooms.
Crue.
And,
Oh, Motley Crue.
yeah. Sorry. I actually looked back at my notes right when
I
you
was
said
like,
it.
I don't even know where I was damn going with that story.
How about Def Leppard?
They hung out and did a parking lot party like most bands don't. Not Def Leppard, Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
I think it was Tommy Lee. They had a DJ set up and all this crazy shit. Them and Slipknot. They're the only ones backstage. There's no partying going on and all that crazy shit. A bunch of dudes sleeping on boxes is what it is. But what the fuck was I talking about?
Motley Crue.
Yeah, I know. Blossom underneath.
Underneath.
Shaped like a boomerang.
Motley Crue.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there
what
we
it
go,
was,
baby.
Because so the dressing rooms are
Back on the
downstairs.
rails.
So they had Mick Mars upstairs in the production office because this dude, I
He's
swear,
real. So he was.
he
got
was.
trouble getting around.
They brought him to the stage like 2 big ass dudes on each side of him,
Yeah, right. It's
and
real
they brought
painful.
him right to the edge of the shadow. And if I didn't know any better, I swear they like and kicked his ass. They put the guitar on him and kicked him out. And he like stumbled out on stage and stood up and was like, "All right, okay, I'm here." And then it was like when the show was over, it was the total opposite. When he hit that line in the shadow, he almost fell. They had to grab him.
Wow.
And they
Oh,
basically
shit.
drug him back to the dressing. Like, dude couldn't even hardly stand up. But it's weird because I've seen several artists do that. Like Ozzy, used to have an oxygen tank back. He'd every other, when he
Lot of
jumps off
oxygen to
stage,
do
he's
that
back
job.
there
Right.
getting his oxygen on. Like the what's her name from Heart? She walks with a cane, but you wouldn't know because she goes out on stage
Amy
without it. But
Wilson.
Right.
she can't even hardly walk when she's. It's crazy. I swear they must get some sort of injection to make it through.
Well, I remember when I
'Cause
did
I'm telling you, man.
the death metal stuff, that low registry, doing that for 45 minutes.
Oh, I don't know how they
It throws
do
your heart out of rhythm and stuff, man. It felt like I felt worse after one of our shows than I did after 2-a-day football practice, and that's no BS, man. Like there were some shows where I was just ragged afterwards, man. How about King Diamond? Because I love the Diamond. No.
King Diamond.
How about Manson? Marilyn Manson?
Ooh,
I know we saw him in 07 at
ooh,
Ozfest together.
Yeah. I think that's. I feel like I've seen his own show.
Yeah,
though,
because
but
I thought I asked you if you could get me something, because he was
feel
another
like-
big one for
yeah,
me.
I feel like I did work for him. I believe I did.